I mean, maybe, actually. Now that I think about it, maybe you can kill your children for no reason. Let's not take that out of context. Please, don't put it in the intro. Please, please, no, 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 no. Vikings. What are they? Mercenaries? Warriors for hire? Warriors in search of honor, perhaps? Wealth? Money? Gold? Warriors in search of love, sometimes. That's what we're here for, to find out with episode 20 of Vinland Saga. Previously on Vinland Saga, episode 19, we had a continuation of Thorfinn and Thorkell's fight. Surprisingly, with Askeladd's help, Thorfinn actually managed to win the fight, pretty much. However, his men, Thorkell's men, kind of interrupted because they saw him about to lose and then ruined the fight. But Thorkell still pronounced Thorfinn to be the victor in the end, and was going to let them go. And then the prince showed up and basically convinced Thorkell to fight for him. Or rather, I should say, not to fight for him, but rather to fight against the king. To be honest, I said as much last episode, but the prince just has not won me over. I don't know what it is about him. He just has not convinced me of his capabilities yet. Like, he hasn't actually done anything. He hasn't proven to me that he is capable. The only thing he has done is, in my opinion, get a little bit lucky that everyone just kind of wants to, you know, has reason to follow him. The only good thing I will say about the prince and what happened last episode was that Askeladd literally confessed to the prince and said that he was the one who killed Ragnar. And then the prince, you know, he turned around and kind of looked angry, but then kind of the anger faded because it's like he realized why Askeladd did what he did, right? Like, he knew that because Ragnar died, he had this kind of revelation and he has become what he is now because of that. So he kind of let it go. I'm sure we're gonna come back to that at some point, but that's the one, I would say, good thing that I thought was kind of like, okay, he's not that bad. Other than that, the prince has not convinced me or won me over yet. Like, something about him he's not winning me over. Regardless, let's just get right into episode 20 of Vinland Saga.
It has to be a ruse. That's the only way it makes any sense.
Yes, but Loki, sir, the reports from Derby...
Reinforce the left flank! Though there are only 500 men, it's Thorkell's army! Prince Canute couldn't come back alive with Thorkell under his command. It simply wouldn't be possible!
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This guy... I expected this guy to be so much more of a big character, like a villain character. Because this is the guy who, on his own, got Askeladd to kill Thors, right? You would think this guy would be the final boss, but like, considering how he acts, he's more of a comedy relief character than anything else.
Hey, it's Floki! Looking for a fight? I'll take you on right now!
You know what, actually, now that I think about it, seeing this... Hang on. Seeing this... It's a little bit cropped so you can't see, but... you know, the prince kind of like looking like high and mighty. I think that's my problem. You see, I'm expecting him to be kind of more of a, you know, Lelouch v. Britannia type of character, right? Like a smart character that kind of uses his wits and cunning to, you know, convince people to work for him. That type of thing, right? But instead of being kind of a smart character who kind of acts smart, he has this high and mighty feeling to him. Like, his confidence isn't like, for instance, as I said, Lelouch, where he's just confident because he's smart. His confidence is almost like high and mighty, like egocentric, like fucking, I don't know. He doesn't feel like a smart character, like a charismatic leader. He feels like a high and mighty character, like a high and mighty leader. right? That's why I think he's not winning me over, because he gives off this high and mighty feeling, and I don't like that. I feel like that's why Thorkell is a much better leader, right? Because he's not high and mighty. He's not like a oh, I'm better than everyone else. He simply has the ability to be the leader. Same with Askeladd, right? That's why these two are such good leaders for their men, is because they have the skill and talent to be the leader, but they don't give off this high and mighty feeling, right? Whereas he does, whereas the prince does. That's why I think I have this like inherent dislike of the character, especially the way he is now. I would have much preferred if he went from his like his pathetic version to like more of a I'm not afraid of death, but I'm also kind of smart. Instead of this high and mighty like, oh, I'm your leader now, you're all my vassals type of thing. I think that's what it is.
I should have already notified you of my return, Floki. Or do you always greet your guests with spears in hand?
Oh, no, Your Highness. Definitely not. Askeladd, what are you doing here?
Have you gone deaf since last we spoke?
Oh,
I'm of the royal family of Denmark. Do you dare to draw your weapons against me?
no, Your Highness. We, Jomsvikings, received a faulty report, warning us of an impending enemy attack.
And another thing, right? The prince is a little too good with talking to people and knowing what to say, considering he never talked to people before. You can't just have a skill that you never learned, you know?
Prince Canute.
It'd be like, if I never touched a sword and then I picked one up, that doesn't mean I can automatically just fight, you know, that doesn't mean I can automatically use it at a professional level, you know? Same thing with talking to people and getting people to do what you want.
He's a completely different person.
That's what I said. Now, if this was any other anime, I would maybe believe that he had like the spirit of Artorias going into his body or something. He got reincarnated in the prince, Artorias, I mean. Then I could maybe buy it, but, you know, it's like, whatever.
Listen as we walk. This is not our time to strike. I have very few allies inside this encampment. We'd be seen as traitors if we acted now. We need time to prepare. Thorkell, even though you fought for England, you're still popular with the warriors. So connect with the leaders of the other clans and mend your ties with them.
Let me get this straight. I can go slam back some booze and it'll be your treat?
As long as you invite the other chieftains. Now go.
So, you see, this would be a lot better if they had if the prince had shown some of this planning and some of this like smartness, some of this intelligence before he got the confidence, right? Then we would know that, oh, he has the ability, he has the smarts, the intelligence to apply to real world scenarios. He just didn't have the confidence before. He was cowardly, right? And then he gains his confidence and he's much more willing to, you know, apply his intelligence and planning to these scenarios, to these situations, right? But we didn't see any of that before he gained his confidence, right? So now, when he did gain his confidence and he's pulling out this planning and this leadership out of his ass, it makes me feel like he didn't have any of this ability before, but now because he's confident, he all of a sudden has the ability to plan and give orders and you know, be a good leader. Like I said earlier, he gained the ability to be a good leader out of nowhere. You don't go into a leadership position and then know what to do immediately when you've never been in a leadership position before. If I've never been in any kind of leadership position ever given orders or anything like that, and then you put me in charge of, I don't know, like a bunch of people and you know, and they're all looking at me to tell them what to do, I'd be like, I don't know. I've never been in this position before. I don't know. You see what I mean? Right? That's why it's just a little weird to me.
I just knew that following you was the right choice.
The change in the prince is too extreme, too
Askeladd,
quickly.
come with me to the King's Hall. I want to hear what you think of him.
Right.
As for our future plan, how shall we achieve it?
Well, I'd suggest an assassination, and soon. Your brother, Prince Harold, is far away back in Denmark. This is our chance. If the king were to die tomorrow, the supreme command of the Danish army in England is going to pass on to you. That said, we would also need to find a scapegoat to blame as the culprit.
Thorfinn, from now on, I'll assign you tasks other than being my guard. I'm counting on you.
Don't give me orders. I never agreed to become one of your minions, got it?
Please forgive his impertinence. I'll make sure this idiot is properly instructed.
God must be watching, even as we stand here now. People losing friends, families turning on themselves. The Lord is looking down on that. From up high in the heavens, seated on his throne. And I abhor it. I will create a paradise right here on Earth. A peaceful and prosperous place. A utopia for those who suffer through this life. It may not be achieved in this generation, but I will take the first steps towards its inception. God will likely cherish me and lovingly call me to his side. And then, in that very moment, I'll relay this message. We don't need heaven nor its trials anymore. A paradise of our own making is now on Earth, forever. We will take back that which we have lost. I'm willing to become a demon if that's what's necessary.
See, that would have been cool. And like, trust me, I don't like that I feel like this. I don't like harping on the prince's change all the time. Trust me, I really don't like doing this. But like that scene, I think was actually a pretty good scene. If it wasn't for the fact that I know that he was a pathetic little loser literally 2 episodes ago, and then he changed just like that. And now he's essentially doing the, I will become a demon if I have to change the world. You know, dude hasn't even done anything. Like, if you told me like Light Yagami or Lelouch V. Britannia said something like that, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it. I can see it. They're those types of characters, right? They are like that. Their personalities are like that from the beginning. And slowly, maybe they got even worse. Like if you've seen Code Geass, right? You think about Lelouch in the very beginning, right? I think a very good example is Lelouch in episode 1 of season 1, before he gets like the Geass, right? He's kind of like almost like a normal teenager, obviously smarter than most people his age, right? But he's still kind of like surprised about, the soldiers dying, right? And then you skip to episode 1 of season 2, when pretty much the same thing happens. He is like completely not surprised at all, because he's already seen so much death. He's a lot more confident. He knows what he's doing. There's like a obvious change to him that has happened throughout the first season, even though it's kind of like you don't even notice it almost, but there's clearly been a change. However, his ability, his competence, his and I know I use that word a lot, competence, but his ability, his intelligence hasn't changed. He was smart even when he wasn't so confident. Even when he wasn't so, dead inside, as it were, almost, right? He was still smart. He had the ability to do great things. He just didn't have the absolute confidence. And then over time, he got more and more confident, right? Versus here, we didn't see that the prince had any, ability at all. And then he gained confidence literally just at the snap of the fingers. It feels unearned, I guess. And when he starts spouting like, oh, I'll become a demon if I have to, it's like you should be saying this after you've actually done something to establish. I think the main problem is that they changed his personality too quickly, almost instantly, right? So it's hard to believe that a character that you got to know that was kind of cowardly and like, airheaded almost, now just out of nowhere instantly is like a completely different character, right? It's hard to accept that.
Glad to see you've returned. Welcome back, Canute.
Thank you for your kind words. Although I feel quite unworthy of it, having lost the soldiers your highness entrusted to me.
Come closer.
I'd say about 20 men in hiding. And some up high, too. Must be archers.
My prince, it's an ambush. It would appear that the king has figured out our intentions and prepared.
What is it? Approach the throne.
Both of you, do not draw your swords under any circumstances. The first to brandish iron loses. For him, it's a battle of wills.
I mean, he says that, but in reality, it's not really a battle at all, because it's like if you draw your blades to defend against the ambush, you're seen as assassins. But on the other hand, if you can't just disobey your direct order from the king when the king is saying come closer, right? So it's like if you disobey that, then you might also be seen as kind of a traitor, but like you have to kind of do what the king says, just not antagonize him. Because the king can't just like kill one of his children, willy-nilly, right? Like can't just do it for no reason. I mean, maybe actually. Now that I think about it, maybe you can kill your children for no reason. Let's not take that out of context. Please don't put it in the intro. Please, no.
Closer, and I'll be able to see the king's face. If I can just do that.
Halt. That's far enough.
Disgusting.
Kneel for your king.
Ooh.
Those are tired eyes. So, this is the king of the Danes.
Would celebrate your return with food and drink. However, in this case, I wanted the opportunity to speak with my son informally. Canute alone may rise. Take 10 steps forward.
That's weird. Oh yes, take exactly 13 steps, kind of half steps forward, maybe a little bit to the right. Yeah. Okay, stand right there. Yeah. Stand right there. Definitely. Just stand right, exactly right there. Yes. Oh, don't worry. No. It's not a trap or anything. You're not. You're not stepping on like some sort of trap or anything. Don't worry. I just, said 13 and a half steps for no reason.
Your face is changed since last I saw you. And in such a very short time. You look just like I did as a young man.
Really?
Yeah, fucking right.
Then you must also know my heart's desire.
Such a troublesome child. I never thought we'd be so similar in looks and bearing.
A child grows by watching what their parents do. Therefore, I am not to blame.
When I was roughly your age, I rose up against my father and drove him from our country, seizing the crown for myself, all because I believed that it was best for the kingdom. Your grandfather was a cruel man. He was also a coward. With a man like that ruling Denmark, the world would have sunk into chaos. I thought I had done well, that I would be able to go on to greater deeds. Until I wore this, that is. Then I learned the truth. This crown has a will of its own. By wearing it, you can command 1,000 ships with 1,000,000 men. You can obtain the finest riches from faraway lands. Divine powers are suddenly bestowed upon you. However, despite all of that, Canute, the king is not the one to use those powers. Rather, the will of the crown itself uses them.
Are you saying the crown ordered you to kill your own son?
There are just 2 commands it gives that the king must follow. To use his power and to expand its influence. There is no resisting the call. And the crown says that you are not to be its next wearer.
To be honest, it's more like if you're too weak-willed to be able to control the crown, then, well, you probably don't deserve to have it. And obviously, you know, I would call bullshit because obviously, obviously a crown does not control the wearer. But the point is that I think what he's getting at is that if you sit on the crown, if you sit on the throne and you wear the crown, you know, you have the power of the king. The power corrupts you. You know, you will start to want more and spread your influence and stuff like that, right? On the other hand, which is why I said that, you know, you have to have a will to be able to control the crown and not to let that power influence you.
Canute, I shall give you a suitable part of Cornwall. A place where you can read your Bible and live out the rest of your life in peace. Should you refuse this offer, you will die where you stand.
Out of curiosity, did the crown make you say that as well, Father?
Your Highness, I humbly ask for your permission to speak.
State your name.
Prince Canute's servant, Askeladd, the son of Olaf. Your Majesty, please reconsider whether this course of action is in line with the will of the crown. Your son, the prince, has returned after taking Thorkell and his men under his command. If your highness is enthroned as the King of England, the city of London will have no choice but to surrender to its rightful leader.
See, once again...
The wealth of London
Okay,
will
I'll talk about this
untouched,
later.
Majesty. His Highness Prince Canute is the one who made tremendous sacrifices for this substantial achievement. Why punish the one who rendered such distinguished service? Furthermore, your actions may trouble your generals when it's time to divide the conquest. I beg you to reconsider.
Quite a persuasive man. Askeladd, one covered in ash. Some kind of alias, I assume. Tell me the name that was given to you by your father.
I am known only as Askeladd. Olaf, my father, did not give me a name.
The child of a mistress, then. Perhaps a child born of a slave.
Uh-oh. He did not like that.
What's going on? I've never seen Askeladd this angry before.
The situation is as he said. You all deserve a reward, and so you shall receive it. I depart for York tomorrow. We shall throw a grand banquet. Your reward will be given there.
Yeah, okay. When we were in this situation, right? I was thinking, okay, once again, a great time to prove to me that the prince is capable. I was fully expecting the prince to be able to talk himself out of this. I mean, this is what it is, right? He looks so confident and oh my god, I know exactly what I'm doing. This is my plan. Follow my lead. Don't draw your weapons under any circumstances, right? This is a battle of wills, right? And then when it comes down to it, Askeladd, the smart one, is the one to convince the king to let them go. This would have been such a great moment to have the prince show again his ability to talk himself out of this, or convince the king to let them go or something. The prince just seems like it's like false confidence. Complete empty false confidence. He doesn't actually have the capability to be a leader. He just exudes confidence because he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he lives or dies, right? So he has this like confident face and he says whatever he wants, but he doesn't actually have the capability, he doesn't have the skill, the talent to lead people and actually get them all through this situation. That's why Askeladd has to step up. And that's my problem. Now you might say, obviously, not all leaders and kings are the smartest people, right? That's why they have the smartest people as like advisors and stuff like that. But in this case, I feel like it would have been such a great moment to see the prince actually show some capability, some skill, some talent in convincing the king to spare them. I don't know. Just a wasted opportunity, I feel like. Yeah, it was a cool moment to see Askeladd kind of get pissed, right? But I just
Terror in my heart, Your Highness.
What is it that has you so worried? As you've already presumed, for the moment, he doesn't have enough justification to kill me. It's better to stay under the king's protection.
A wise strategy. All the more reason to refrain from provoking him like you did.
and then
Consequence.
And then he plays it off as this, I knew everything that was going to happen. Sure, bro, sure. Like, he just... it's not done well. It's like they want you to think that he has everything under control, but he clearly does not. Or at least, it doesn't feel like that to me.
Learned he's nothing but a slave to the crown. There's true power in it, and I will show him how to wield it properly.
One covered in ash. Askeladd. I must be wary of him.
Hey, you've been pounding those drinks down all night. Who the hell are you? I don't remember inviting.
Oh yeah,
a
that's
priest
the priest, right?
My name is Willibald. Have you forgotten me?
Huh?
Willibald.
You look so young.
I'm 23.
No way. Early
Seriously?
20s.
So, what do you think? The king. Can we kill him?
I hate to say it, but pulling it off will be difficult. I got the impression that he's a smart man. He's discerning, and when it's time to make the first move, he won't hesitate. When he saw that we wouldn't submit to his threats, he switched to a different strategy. I'd wager he's skilled in the art of war. Of course, I'd expect nothing less from one who's the ruler of a nation. For now, it's best if we just obey his wishes, then wait for our chance to come.
I am beyond delighted to see you return safely to us. You have no idea how much I've been worried about you. I sincerely apologize for not being able to greet you at the gates. I had actually just returned to the castle myself from a foreign country. Of course, I always knew you'd pull through it all unscathed. Oh,
Who the fuck is this guy?
A new follower of yours, Prince Canute? I'd be honored if you'd introduce me.
This is Ragnar's brother, Gunnar. Have you met?
Excuse me?
No, not yet.
Excuse me?
This is Ragnar's brother, Gunnar.
Oh my god, he is. It's the Gunnar himself.
No, not yet. I'm Askeladd, son of Olaf.
Oh, I can already see why the prince took a liking to you. My name is Gunnar.
Oh my god, you
By the way,
are.
Highness, The prospects for our prior plan look much brighter now. The Duchy of Normandy is willing. I think it would be best if I discuss this matter further with my brother.
Ragnar is dead.
What?
Do forgive me for all the trouble you've experienced. But I no longer plan to go into exile.
What, sire?
Though I am grateful
What
that you've
did you
gone
just
through all the
say?
different countries in my stead. I just quarreled with the king a bit earlier. And I'll need your assistance.
Brother.
So Gunnar.
Huh?
You must keep an eye on him. Then report everything back to me. And for help.
I can't, man.
meant-
I can't. Ah. Why would they name him that? I mean, I get it, but like, you know, because of the modern day meaning of Gunnar, I can't take it seriously.
You can trust.
Highness, you mustn't speak of such things in a place like this. Someone could hear.
Don't worry. This is a fine place to talk discreetly.
Your Highness. You've changed so much.
You're heading back home.
I know you said that you wouldn't mind it, but we betrayed you when things went downhill. It's just that I don't know how to face you after every— Hey! Got you! And now, look at what happened to my poor brother.
Now, the only fighter who's left over from the old regime is Thorfinn. But that's perfect for a fresh start.
A bracelet?
It's gold. Take it.
What? I could never do that! I don't deserve it!
It's all right. This is yours. You can never have too much gold out on the road. On condition.
Huh?
You must never wield a sword. It doesn't suit you, Atli. Herd some sheep, find a wife, have a kid, and then die of old age in your bed.
Oh.
If I ever see you on the battlefield again, even if you're on my side, I'll kill you.
All right. It's a deal.
You see that? That is what I would follow. Askeladd. The smallest little detail of, like, you know, forgiving a traitor and then telling him, hey, go live a long, peaceful life somewhere. And sending him off with a little gift. Now, unless this gift, like, explodes in the guy's face and kills him, I mean, that would be one thing, but you know, if it's just like sending him off with a gift of gold, I mean, like I see that as that's leader material. That's charismatic leader. Yeah, okay. Basically what I wanted to talk about earlier, and you know I kind of complained about this last episode as well, but the prince is acting too high and mighty without the ability to back up his words. Right? Even here, when they were like, kind of talking, I like the way he talks, but notice how he is never the one to come up with any kind of plan, right? He always talks to Askeladd, and Askeladd is the guy who usually is the smart one, right, and comes up with a plan, right? He's not smart enough to be able to, like, come up with plans on his own, or, like, scheme on his own to, like, justify him having this kind of, like confident aura and just confidence, right? It's like a character that just has empty confidence, false confidence. I just, you're not convincing me. You're not convincing me. In any case, that was episode 20 of Vinland Saga. We learned of some new names. I believe Willibald, Mr. Baldman himself, balding guy, priest. And then Mr. Gunnar who cannot be trusted. I suppose we shall see what Mr. Gunnar will get up to in the next episodes. Until episode 21 next time, I shall see you, gentlemen and ladies, later.